Donald Trump seized control of the media agenda again this holiday week, taking aim at Hillary Clinton by repeatedly slamming her husband's history of sexual misconduct. And perhaps this tabloid talk wasn't such a tough sell for the press, which also got a chance to question Trump's colorful past.
Mr. Trump, you've gone after former President Bill Clinton for his infidelity. Are your own personal indiscretions fair game in this campaign?
Yes, they would be. And frankly, Hillary brought up the whole thing with sexist, and all I did is reverse it on her because she's got a major problem. Happens to be right in her house.
But with Hillary accusing Trump of sexism, CNN dug up footage showing that the last time she ran for president, Trump dismissed the womanizing and lying charges that led to the former president's impeachment.
I mean, look at the trouble Bill Clinton got into with something that was totally unimportant, and they tried to impeach him, which was nonsense. And yet Bush got us into this horrible war with lies, by lying, by saying they had weapons of mass destruction.
Joining us now to analyze how this election suddenly became about Bill Clinton, A.B. Stoddard, columnist and associate editor at The Hill. Jim Garrity, contributing editor at National Review and co-author of the new book Heavy Lifting. And Mara Liasson, national political correspondent for NPR and a Fox News contributor. A.B. Stoddard, with Trump kicking open the door, are the media relishing this opportunity to sort of rehash and relive and relitigate the Clinton sex scandals of the 90s?
I actually don't think so. I've seen a lot of people say this is not, really this is buried, old news. We don't need to go down that road, right? A couple of anchors not interested in even pursuing this this storyline. I don't think it's the media. I think as Donald Trump, is successful at doing, he picks something just electric to make news with every 5 or 10 days.
But then you're suggesting the media are acting as a passive conduit for Trump's attacks on Bill Clinton, who's not running for president.
No one in the media is going to stop him from talking about this. We're going to report on what Donald Trump's line of campaign direction is. And right now, he's going after Hillary, not other Republicans. He's going after her and her husband, and going after something which is potent with Republican primary voters, which is that the Clintons use their power to cover things up and they don't tell the truth. And that actually is going to go a long way with primary voters. I don't know how it's going to work in the general election when they find out that a few years ago he didn't think Bill Clinton's impeachment was a big deal. He shouldn't have been impeached for what was not a big deal. That's different flip-flop with the general electorate.
Well, I've seen a lot of cable news segments on it this week. And Jim, I covered all of this, from Jennifer Flowers, who Clinton eventually admitted that he had sexual contact with, to Kathleen Willey, to Paula Jones, to Monica Lewinsky. I mean, this guy screwed around, lied to the country, was impeached, and was acquitted, and left office more popular. So should the media focus on this or aggressively pursue this for the 2016 campaign?
Trump has already performed his first miracle of the campaign when he got the Washington Post's Ruth Marcus, not a Trump fan by any stretch of the imagination.
And a liberal, respected liberal columnist.
Left and center saying, well, wait, come to think of it, Bill Clinton's predatory behavior towards his subordinates. Let's separate out the affairs with the allegations of harassment, the allegations of violent assault, things like that, often on women who were working for him. This kind of abuse of power of this position. That is a legitimate issue. And if Hillary Clinton goes run around saying, look, all rape victims deserve to be believed, that's got a really unfortunate implication when you think about the allegations against her husband.
Now, Mara, Hillary Clinton is bringing her husband into the campaign, playing up his role, talking about his presidency. He's going to campaign for her. So in that sense, it's fair game. But the media in any way glossing over the fact that when Bill Clinton did these things, that she was kind of the victim here?
I think that when you go back and look at history, Hillary Clinton has never been more popular when Bill Clinton got into trouble. And there was a kind of backlash, maybe of sympathy for her. But that's when her numbers have gone up the most. Now, I'm not saying it's going to happen again this time, but that is historically what's happened. And also, in terms of fair game, you heard Donald Trump say, sure, it's fair game to go after my indiscretions. And to say whether it's the media or Donald Trump, in some senses, isn't the story of this election that Donald Trump is the media? That whatever it is that he tweets out or says just goes unfiltered right to the public.
Now, I also, when I was in New York, 1990, covered Trump's breakup with Ivana, his relationship with Marla Maples, the best sex I ever had headline, and that turned very, very ugly. So now are the media going to charge through this door and rehash his 3 marriages as well?
It's going to depend on timing. I think right now everyone is going after the media is focused on this horse race on the Republican side with less than 30 days to go. I think if he goes after Hillary in the general, it's probably fair game. I don't know that the media is going to get into his marriages right now. They're covering the Republican primary. I mean, once Hillary responds, and once if he's the nominee, he faces her, I think it's all going to be on the table.
When the Lewinsky story erupted back in 1998, and it was almost the only story covered on TV news for about a year and a half. I mean, Hillary Clinton initially defended her husband, vast right-wing conspiracy, and then later she said she was deceived. So when I see commentary saying, well, she enabled him, she smeared the women, I haven't seen the specific examples of how she smeared the women, but if she had divorced him, then she wouldn't have enabled him, but that she decided to keep their marriage together. And so I'm just saying, is this going to be the same debate that we had then? Are we going to have that now?
We probably are going to have a rerun, but I think there's a distinction. The problem between the Donald Trump sordid behavior in his past and the sordid behavior described in the Clintons' past is that only one of the pair is calling themselves a feminist. And I think there's going to be this kind of shocking response to the idea that, you know, I mean, Trump likes to come out there and say, I'm going to be terrific for the women. I'm the best the women have ever had, you know. I suppose in light of that old New York Post headline, there's a very different connotation to that now. But the gist being that, like, his whole point is to point out his hypocrisy. I don't think he should come out of this and say, well, Donald Trump is really the good guy when it comes to treatment of women. And
only one of them is running for president. Bill Clinton is not running for president.
Right. I made that point, but at the same time, Bill Clinton would be living in the White House.
That's
he would
right.
presumably be a key advisor as a former president to his wife.
That's right. I think it's going to be an issue, but I think that she has a strong card to play here. Not so much in the sexism card, but that she did stick with him. I'm sure there's going to be a narrative about their marriage improving and strengthening. All
right, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say I think a lot of voters would rather hear about issues that affect their lives and not just focus on the past, but it's obviously an amusing topic for the media, at least for now.